Hey everyone, I want to talk a little bit about some of the differences between the options with price books. And this is between the spreadsheet and the tools built into Housecall Pro. It's an argument, and some believe one way is the best, some believe others is the best. And I say there's no right way. What I do say is if you are interested in the tools that Housecall Pro provides to make sure you fully understand what it does, your options. Sorry about that blunder. So the two ways, again, one way of maintaining the spreadsheet or the price book is by spreadsheet. The other is Housecall Pro. So let's head to a spreadsheet quickly. You guys have seen this from the other videos. And everything is maintained in here. All your part costs, your taxes, everything is calculated, your labor times, to give you your job cost and total price. And this is one way of maintaining a price book. It is totally valid. And I always recommend that, again, and maybe this is where I blundered, if you're interested in using the Housecall Pro options, I would highly recommend building your price book on the spreadsheet and customizing it here first. So you have your blueprint of your book, then take it to Housecall Pro. And it may be a little easier because as you build one service at a time, then you can copy the part name and bring that to Housecall Pro and enter it. But then you always have your blueprint. So if you want to take it anywhere, you have it. So again, everything is maintained on the spreadsheet, and you would upload your spreadsheet through the upload doc, through a CSV file to Housecall Pro into the import-export services. And then your whole book would be loaded up. You'd go into a service, and let's click into one here, and we're going to talk about like the markup and gross margin. This is where things differ a little bit. Because we've already calculated everything on the spreadsheet, we have our service cost. This is the total, parts, everything included. And then the service price is what your profit is pretty much on the parts. So this markup and gross margin isn't a true representation of what your actual numbers are. This is more of a net margin. So you could say on this job, your net margin is 17%. Now the different part of the price book is Housecall Pro's features. And this is here where you would toggle calculate flat rate pricing. This is where you would build and take more time to enter the information, like your labor, the amount of time and the labor rate, your materials one by one. We'd get all the materials in there to then your service cost. And your markup and your gross margin will be far better represented. Now, if you do have extra in your labor rate for profit, then it wouldn't quite show. Again, this wouldn't be a full representation of your gross margin because there would be extra built in, but it's a great base. Now, you would have to come into each service and add your labor rate, your time to that job, and you could add more labor rates if it was like after hours or an apprentice, and then your material, and you would have to add one by one your material. Now, this is where some of this left column here comes into play, and you have more options. Now, this tax rate, this is for your sales tax, so you got to charge tax on all your services, so you would set your tax rate that you would charge the client. If in your state you don't charge tax on services, that would be 0. You have your service price adjuster that you can add a percentage to different categories, whatnot, different services. Then your labor rate, so you would add your labor rates here, and this would be attached to all those jobs. So then if you changed your labor rate, you would come in and change that rate individually, and it would change globally through all of Housecall Pro. And then your material markups, you would choose your material markups in here instead of on the spreadsheet. Now, things that are going to be in the same here is your markups. In the spreadsheet, this is where your markups are compared to where Housecall Pro, your part tax, and your labor rate over here. So those are two of the differences here, right? And I would say building into Housecall Pro is timely. Excuse me, timely is the wrong word. It's going to be time consuming because you have to go one service at a time. Now, what we could recommend is starting small, maybe adding your first 10 most popular services, like water heaters. You want to have your water heater reporting better, or your HVAC installs, where we could get better reporting on that. Whereas you may have more services, let's say 200 services to cover what you're doing. That could be a lot of time. So make that decision of where you'd want to go with it. And again, I would focus on getting a spreadsheet going. If you have a crew of guys and you want them running autonomously, get them on a working book. You have your QuickBooks, you have a bookkeeper or an accountant. They will be able to break down your costs for you. Your material costs hard because you'll get those slips from your supply house. So you will always balance that way in your income. So again, there's multiple ways and there's no one right way. We start on the spreadsheet. We start with minimal services and at a low entry cost, and we build from there. Just because there are so many options, we want to make sure that you're educated and you know all of your options with this. Check out some of our other videos. Thank you.